draw! How to draw cartoons with John-Marc. Are you ready to have some fun drawing today? Do you have your paper and pencil? You do? That's great. Let's begin.
All right, let's begin this little whimsical tree. And like I say from time to time, and I'll say it again, use your imagination, your creativity, and change it even to your style. This is going to be a real fun, quick lesson, and you can definitely use the shape of the tree and the top of the tree where the leaves are and extend it, make them skinnier, make them longer, make the tree a little fatter, skinnier, even put more in the background. I'm just going to be doing one simple one right now. This will be a quick one. So let's go and jump into and some of the things I'm not going to do, I'm just thinking right now, you may want to add like vines hanging down with like flowers hanging on there, or little flower shaped flowers that could be all over the tree. Different fruit, so it could be like a banana tree could be grown. It's not a real banana tree because they have different palm leaves in it versus tree, should I say. But be creative. You can make your own fruit in that case, or even having a little owl sitting on there. See, now when I'm drawing, it's really sketchy again, really quick. And now I'll come back and I'll go a little slower when I'm going and a little bit firmer with my actual pencil. Yeah, so I had some stones on the bottom there and some other ones here or there. I'm going to be doing more of these lessons and following up with coloring them so you can see when I'm cleaning them up and using different mediums from watercolor, color pencils, and even just gradating them with pencil graphite. Little mushrooms over here. A lot of people like one of my gradating one a lot. It's one of my seaweed versions that I did. I get a lot of compliments on that one. All right, so the tree structure, and I'm going to try to make it more like little lines. I'll show you that in the later on, those lines. So those are like the light lines or dark lines. Yeah, this is like where there's a little owl or a little raccoon house. I had a pet raccoon many years ago. And another rock over there. Let's get some grass blades jumping up right there, here and there. Now, what's the purpose for this lesson here? These are the lines right here. I'm sorry, let me get back to that. Here's those lines, and what I'm thinking is almost like a birch tree, but if you had a tree colored like a lime green and a fuchsia color stripes, that would be kind of cool, really artsy in there. It doesn't have to match like a real tree. Now, getting back to that other thought I was just about to share. The purpose between all these lessons that I share, even though this is a simple one, I do a lot of trees because you can't make a real mistake on it. So it's not like the tree angle or the leaves can be really wrong, should I say. This is a good reference just to use your imagination, feel that freedom. But when you're doing an animal or like an object, like a people, or even like a car, if the perspective or something's wrong with the anatomy, you can see it. But when you're doing trees and landscape and backgrounds, you have a lot more freedom and flexibility where you really don't have to worry about that. And that's a way of just encouraging you just to stick on your method of drawing. You might just want to do backgrounds. So years ago, when my teacher was teaching us animation, he was from the 1940s when he was actually working with Walt Disney. Anyways, he used to explain to us you had particular artists that just did um, backgrounds, you had the particular artists that just did effects, and you have different people that were just using animating for people and animals. So they were concentrating on their strong skills. So you may not have skills for every element, fine tune those, but the ones that you're weaker, I would recommend jumping into and try to explore those weaknesses that you see that you can feel that you want to learn. Like, for instance, like hands and feet. People have a difficult time in doing, and even knowing like perspective. People have a hard time understanding perspective. I'm going to create little spots on here. This is where you can make a whole bunch of flowers, little fluffy flowers on, or like I was saying, like fruit. Could be an apple or banana tree, pineapple tree, tomato tree, cucumber tree. It could be a money tree, whatever you want it to be per se. All right, so this is just like a little shadowing and coloring that I'm adding into the right now. That's just my way of giving myself a mental note. It's like that could be shadow, that could be a different color. So if the tree color, the leaves are like a nice sky blue, say that could be like a lime green, or maybe a slate blue, a little bit darker, and they're just the tips. Or it could be your shadow, but you can create different patterns. And here in the background, I'm just creating some real quick mountains and little rocks here and there, and more grass in those, or the mushrooms here. So a little shadowing here and there. Cleaning up in the background, some more grass blades. Yeah, looking good a little here. And I'm just going to go very lightly, just like a whole bunch of clouds, massive clouds in the background there. Not too detailed and too involved, because I want the tree to stand out. So in this case, as you can see, the tree, I went a little bit heavier. The background and the clouds, I didn't put too much on there. All right. I feel good with it, so let's sign, date, share with your family and friends. Thanks for watching this.
That was a fun lesson. What did you learn? Keep your paper and pencil ready. There's more drawing fun ahead.
Grab your paper and pencil and let's have some fun with expressions. And as I share, what I want you to really do is watch how I actually draw and use those crosshairs and understand where the nose and eyes and mouth go. There are other lessons in the future. I'm going to be explaining more detail, but this is just a simple expression of two different expressions. Even though it's on this guy, feel free to change the character. You may want to put it onto a bear or a space alien or even on a tree. Using your imagination is what I want you to be here right now. And tip that you can actually learn, use your mirror. Make those different expressions in the mirror and watch your faces and try to draw from those type of moods or sad, silly expressions that you have. You might even want to take your camera and take pictures of your family and friends. Feel free to bring in one of your friends and challenge one another and just do funny expressions, and one draws each other when they're sitting in front of you. Now just sit back and watch this lesson and learn from some of the tips and techniques as you can see how I'm drawing. In closing, what I want to really share the usefulness of not throwing away your artwork. The key thing here is always keep your artwork. Even if you don't like it, it's a great way of seeing your progression as an artist. Here's a perfect example. You may not like the expressions, but by saving them, you'll see your improvement and the techniques that you are doing to improve as an artist. I hope this lesson really challenged you and inspired you, and look forward to future lessons.
Wow, that was so cute! Did your drawing make you smile? Get ready! Our next drawing is going to be just as much fun.
All right, let's begin today's lesson. I'll be using my blue pencil followed by my mechanical pencil. Note, I'm going to be working with my style. You do not have to match it whatsoever. So what I'm doing here is simply creating the whole basic structure of the body. I have the head, and I'm working on the arms right now. Just simply just creating the form, and thereafter I'll take more detail to follow with my traditional pencil. Again, use your creativity and your own imagination and maybe even your own style. So don't worry if you're not copying mine 100%. It's just so that you can see how I practice and then how you can practice sketching better. All right, so here is the far arm here on the left, and I'm going to be having that little hand on the staff. So what you can do is many different ways to start. I have the hand I just placed, and I'm just randomly creating the little staff shape there and going all the way straight down to the bottom. And feel free to explore your creativity. Once again, the background. Where is he actually? Is he in a desert, or is he in a play on some type of school right now? Or is he just walking casualty in an old town? Whatever you do, use your imagination for sure. Now, when you can see here is it's getting very light, and sometimes I might get a little bit heavier with the pencil, but most of all, it's very, very light. So when I come back with my mechanical pencil or the traditional pencil, I can easily take more detail there. As you can see the head there, I have the eyebrows and the eyes there. Note also, when working on some of these sketching, you may want to have another piece of paper next to you when you're thinking out how should the eyes or face or maybe the hand looks. Sketch on something else first before sketching even where you're working on the project, so you kind of flush out your thoughts and your ideas and making sure it looks well. So what you're really not doing too much is erasing, and you can just practice that way more, like a page on all different types of canes, a page on how all different hands should look like, or maybe face, or even the clothing, and then come back to the actual drawing and then fine tune it at that moment as well. So here we go. It's just about done. I have the face done, and I'm ready to use my mechanical pencil. And it's actually an HB pencil currently right now, and you'll see I'm going a little bit slower, and definitely I'm putting a lot more pressure on my HB pencil versus when I normally have done starting off with, because when I start off sometimes with the mechanical pencil, I'll go very lightly. But since I have the blue pencil, it's already there for me. So you can see that the texture and the tone, you can see the eyes. Very simple. The eyebrows there, it's the side of his face. Very, very angular type of a body. And the head there. Okay, the ear, simple there. His little hair on the side. His little mustache there, making it a little long. And there we go. And rotating it to the other side. There we go. That's looking good. I like that. Simple. Okay, his little cheek. Get the ear on the other side. A little shadowing and a little mustache there. Yeah, let's add some tone to that nose right there and a little mustache, a little lip underneath there. That's looking good. And as you can see, I'm basically following what I did with my blue line. But sometimes you may switch and totally change it. Not a problem. And just as you can see here, I didn't have that little hair in the beard in blue, and I just randomly place it in there. All right, little hair spiking it up on the top, making him like he's like a little bald on the top, little wrinkles in his face. All right, and then following up that one, there we go with his cheek there, more on the side. his arm all the way down. Okay, the arm on the other side there. You can see long sleeves and very, very flowing, should I say, his fingers here. This is his thumb here, and his finger and his other, that's his index finger right here, pointing straight out, and his other fingers and his palm of his hand there, back of his arm there. And then you'll see the inside part of the sleeve there. All right. And continuing with the staff. But so when you're thinking of the staff with the wood, be creative and very whimsical, should I say, when you're playing around with some of the things like that. What type of wood is it? Does it have some branches and like some leaves growing off of it, like right now? That's looking cute. Maybe it has a bird on it standing on top of it. And just go straight down randomly there, going right there. Let's get some wood tone there, some lines in there to indicate where the veins of the actually wood is there. There we go. Just shading in that other part there. Okay, that's looking good. I like that. Finishing up with his body there right now, the base of his little garment there. But as you notice, I didn't put any feet or any shoes that he's wearing. But you can feel free to change that. You can add that. A little like a little carrying bag that he has underneath him that he's working there. All right, a little shade that in there. Let's create up like a pattern or a texture or a design on there. All right, let's look at his hand there for a second. Has 3 fingers and the other finger working all the way around. Okay, that's looking good. All right, simple, very geometrically, but in a sense, this is just a sketch, nothing more than a simple thought. And if I like this, I could take it a little bit better and definitely fine tune it a lot more. Let me just shade in some of the areas right there, like if the shading for his little beard going down the side there, shading underneath the side of his arm there, and inside there, it's definitely a little bit darker. The pattern's filling that in, a little shading, that's looking good. I like that. Yep. All right. Get that little hair on the other side. I like that better now. Okay, so get some texture in the background. Just give him some ground floor and some grass here and there, and maybe some stones or shadows, or even a little lizard you can feel free to put on there. All right, so it's looking good. How much more? Let's go around fine tune it. I think it looks good. So let's sign, date, share with your family and friends. As always, thanks for watching this lesson.
I hope you enjoyed today's lessons and learned something new and exciting. Make sure to share your drawings with your family and friends and keep drawing every day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.